Absolute advantage is the producer that can produce the most output or requires the least amount of resources used. Comparative advantage is the producer with the least amount of opportunity costs. Okay, so now if they bake only cakes, then in a single day, Brett can bake 10 cakes while Joe can bake 5 cakes. If they only make pies, then in a single day, Brett can make 15 pies while the Joe can bake 4 pies. Who has the comparative advantage for each product, and what would be acceptable terms of trade if Brett made pies and traded for cakes? Explain. Okay, so first I'm going to make a chart. Cakes, pies, Brett, Joe. Okay, Brett makes 10 cakes and he makes 15 pies. Joe makes 5 cakes and he makes 4 pies. So for every 1 cake, it costs 3 halves a pie. And then for every 1 pie, it costs 2/3 a cake. And then for Joe, it costs 1 for 4/5 a pie and 1 for 5/4 a cake. So the comparative advantage for each product is whichever has less. So Brett, 4 pies, and Joe, 4 cakes. And an acceptable trade would be 1 cake for 1 pie because it is in between both their resources used. So it benefits both of them. And then if it was switched into an input problem, the chart would stay the same. But since it's how many hours now, it is the other way around. So it'd be 1 for 2/3 a pie, and then 1 for 3 halves a cake, and then 1 for 5/4 a pie, and then 1 for 4/5 a cake. So the absolute advantage for cakes is Joe, and absolute advantage for pies is also Joe because it takes him the least amount of hours to produce it. And then the comparative advantage for cakes is Brett because it costs him less time. And then for comparative advantage for pies, that will be Joe because it costs him less time than this.